Welcome, everyone, to episode 45 of the World Stone Keep. It's been a little while, but
episode 45.
We've had some time to play with the most recent patch changes. What patch are we on right now? 10, 11? One of those? 12? 12.
I think we're on 12.
Oh, 76.
Right. 10 was like the major patch changes, right? They got rid of the altar and everything.
I guess so.
I think it was
12. 12 didn't really change anything. Let's put it.
Yeah,
that
I
way.
think the last two were just hot fixes for bugs and stuff like that. But anyway, here we are. Patch changes. How do you guys feel about the recent patch changes? Removal.
How do I turn off player health bars?
It's X or V, one of those. V.
Yeah, that's right.
D. It's D. That's the
D.
Yeah,
There we
he is
go.
monster.
The patch. How do I feel about the patch? I don't know. It's kind of. Well, let's talk about the big thing. The skill cooldown change thing.
Right, they got rid of the altar, thankfully, and then they added a cooldown, where if you switch a skill out, which I'll demonstrate right now, it puts a little 30-second cooldown on it. So you can't use it, and you also can't switch it out while it's cooling down.
Yeah. Now this, I don't know. It seems like they're on the right track, but it still doesn't work all that well.
Yeah, it's not there.
Because, like, at first, when I first read that change, I was like, oh, okay, well, Joe's going to be really happy, and that doesn't seem like it'd be too intrusive or obnoxious. And then I got into a game and actually tried it, and, like, I hit... the thing was that I was on my monk, like usual, and the big problem wound up being that I was switching out my combo skill. So suddenly I couldn't attack anything for 30 seconds.
Yep.
Why am I hitting things with this wand instead of firing awesome spells at things? Oh,
It happened
I
with
see.
the wizard too, because like the second skill you get is Frost Nova, and there's no reason to get rid of that. So you want to switch Magic Missile out for Arcane Orb, and you're just standing there for 30 seconds.
So it's quite... I mean, at later levels, when you're just kind of switching out utility skills, or, like your 4th or 5th or 6th skill slot, it's not going to be that big of an issue, because your
Right.
core skills are going to be fairly locked at that time, unless, you're building your character around a skill that you don't get until fairly late.
Right.
Then it's going to be a lot less intrusive. But as it is, like 30 seconds is kind of really long.
it is a very long time in combat.
I think the concept is sound, but it's too long. Like, I mean, we were spitballing a lot of different lengths. 5 seconds, 15. Like 15 would probably be a decent compromise, but I don't even think it needs to be that long.
Like I said, realistically, I think you could do with 5 seconds, and it wouldn't be exploitable or anything. It wouldn't necessarily ruin any of the game mechanics, because, if you were switching out, like, big major, everything goes boom skills, you wouldn't have the resources to run them every 5 seconds. So, I don't know why they decided on 30 seconds. It just seems a little overkill to me.
I think they're still refining it. This was just like a tester, kind of like the altar was. So I'm hoping they modify it. I mean, personally, I hope they just get rid of the cooldown. Because I was in a situation where I wanted to rapidly switch out skills to see which one boosted my damage more. And so I'd switch one out and be like, all right, let's remember this number for 30 seconds until I'm able to switch it out again.
Number. That reminds me, the tool tips.
Ah, yes. The core attributes in your inventory.
Okay, tool
Oh, wow, I
tip,
didn't
like
even notice that.
Skill tool tips.
Oh, you're talking about those. Okay.
The skill tooltips, like the simplified tooltips being default, I'm okay with that. They're whatever. But I'm a little bit irritated that they still don't have advanced tooltips with actual, like, final numbers,
Right. That you
with everything included.
Yeah.
it's still just, I mean, I'm okay with like the 100% weapon damage, but it's like, no, where's my tooltip that actually tells me that with what you're wearing right now, this will do 50 damage?
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting. Black mushrooms!
It's the second game in a row I found them.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I love those
this
things.
is the first time I've seen them.
They've been in since we got it, I believe. Though I don't know. They might have taken them out for a couple patches.
I've never seen those there.
But I know I've had them before.
The only time I've ever gotten a black mushroom was out of Adria's Cauldron.
Yeah, that's where it originally dropped, but after a while you notice they no longer drop from the cauldron, and
Yeah.
that's why. It's
Oh.
because they moved them to that new
mushroom
location.
patch.
So I was just exceptionally unlucky.
When
Uh,
you pick it up, your
yeah.
character should say, "That's a big mushroom."
Yep.
They don't
That's
even
a
need
big
to spend.
mushroom.
They don't even need to spend time getting the voice actors to do that. Just like completely copy it straight from Diablo 1 and just have the black sorcerer do it for all of the characters. That's a big mushroom.
I think I have all those sound clips saved on my computer somewhere from when we used to do sound effects.
The core attributes on the character page, I don't like it. It looks terrible. It's very cramped, and I actually have trouble. I won't say I have trouble reading it, but if I do just kind of like the quick glance, I'll find myself in like opening the page, glancing at it to see what's changed, and then closing it, and then realizing that I don't remember anything I looked at. Like, it's not registering. The way the information is presented is so meaningless and inconsequential that it's like my brain's just like, this isn't worth remembering.
Yeah, I don't dig it either. I would like, well, I guess I have to compromise would be if they would add the character window 2 that they used to have.
Yeah, just bring that back so I can
Bring that back and I'll
keep
be
getting
happy.
C, because it's
Yeah,
nice, it's big, it's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what the issue with it was. Like, why did they even go this route?
I don't know. Like, they had a reason that it was like, okay, well, it puts everything in one place, but
I think
that
it's more
is
for
not
like
really-
beginner characters who are switching gear around and they don't really know like what's going on, so they have it right there in the window and they can see the actual changes happening in real time to your character. So I think that's why
Well,
they added it, but I don't know why they took the other one out.
mhm.
I guess if you're right-clicking on an item on the right-hand side of your screen, you can't really see it on the left. I guess if you're bad with mouse dexterity.
Or you don't even know to
Mouse
keep your
dexterity.
character window open when you're switching gear around.
If you're bad with mouse dexterity, you probably shouldn't be playing.
Diablo, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That probably isn't the game for you. That should be like the beginning test. Can you switch gear and know what changes? No, can't do it. Go back
I
to
mean,
WoW.
and the thing is that a lot of the big changes. Well, WoW doesn't even have them on the same. You know, your bags are completely separate from your character page, so that doesn't even count. No, as a whole, like I don't get why they removed the character panel, especially since, well, I guess you've still got the details. Like, you can click for the details, and it's got the big long detailed list, but the cores are just so cramped and ugly now.
I
Like,
just
they're just
think-
plain white.
It would be better if they left the character screen the way it was, but had like a little button or something in there that can, blow it out. Like the details button, but have that for the core attributes. So if you want it on the character inventory side, then you can do that. But I hate opening and just seeing it there.
Yeah,
I miss
it
that
does
little.
look pretty
art.
cluttered when you open up your inventory with everything in it.
Did I just cancel that? What?
No, it's just waiting on Joe.
Hold on, I'm busy selling stuff.
You're not supposed to sell stuff anymore.
Shh! Don't tell anyone! I don't
You
care,
know,
damn it.
we're-
I will pick up every piece of crap and sell it. It's worth something.
Joe, when I'm level 60 and I have
You're just gonna get
The
the
most-
cost nerf.
the most epic thing ever, on my wonderful, wonderful monk. I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna see you at level 20 selling basic garbage that is worth nothing for no reason. I'm gonna wonder what happened to Joe.
There is a reason.
If it gives me gold, there's a reason, damn it.
Yeah.
All right?
Remember, like, the video that they just released with that new video that's really an old video?
Yeah.
That, the most valuable resource to that one guy was gold. That's the drop he wanted most because he spent so much on repairs.
Yep.
See, the only major thing you need to take from that is this. It's actually a hidden tax on you to pick this stuff up. Because that's time you could have been picking up gold. Or finding magical items or things that are actually valuable.
Nonsense.
It still costs you time.
Shh, time. Jeez.
What's time worth?
That is all you have in a video game is time. And that is all you can lose in a video game.
Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Anyway, what else were we going to talk about? What other changes did they implement here?
Talk about how none of you can throw grenades because you're all alone.
Do I have grenades? No.
Why would I throw grenades when I can shoot galaxies at people?
Level 11.
There's
Probably
a bunch
because
of
you can't shoot 3 at once. That's exactly why, sir.
The gear distribution thing. Change, curve, white items, blue items, and how many drop at what level.
Say what?
It's like they pushed back like when blue items are introduced into the game, what level. In the beta, you notice it, maybe, but in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't affect us that much.
Yeah.
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 Beta, it's,
Yeah.
it's a lot of white items, but...
How do you guys feel with not having a Nephilim cube anymore?
I hate it.
feel naked.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It sucks. Just feels so awkward taking my stuff to the blacksmith and having to break it down.
I don't know how okay, this is something that's got me a couple of times. So when you go to a merchant and you're selling stuff, you right click on all your items, but when you're salvaging with the blacksmith, if you right click, it gets rid of the salvage icons. You can't salvage, you need a left click on everything.
Right.
I don't like that. It's not consistent and it confuses my brain.
So you should be able to have the salvage page open and then just you don't have to click the little tool, you just left click on items while the salvage page is open and it should salvage them? Is that kind of what you're saying?
That, or they could actually have like this thing in your inventory that you can like click on. And
dude, that sounds like a revolutionary content feature.
I'm thinking something, I don't know, maybe something to do with like the Nephilim, or I don't know.
We could make it cube shaped. People would go nuts.
And make it not even take up an item spot in your inventory. Just kind of have it where the core attributes are. Its own little icon.
I don't know if that'd be consistent with the lore, guys. I don't know.
See, I honestly get the feeling that the Nephilim cube was scrapped.
No,
because it was too awesome.
No, I kind of get the feeling that they removed the cauldron because they wanted to change the way that the economy behaves towards white items. So that makes some sense. And then they're like, well, we want to make this. We want to move the stats onto the character page. And I honestly feel like the cube is a victim of that, of moving those stats around.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because salvaging as a mechanic is still in game, and even with the changes to the economy, there's no reason to not let you do that on the fly.
And their reasoning in saying it's good to take a break from the combat and go back to town. Well, there are other reasons that you do take a break and go back to town, other than it forcing you to go back so you can salvage stuff.
Yeah, Like I have
Stuff
to
like
take a
that.
piss, and I go back to town. All
Or I have to turn in a quest.
Other than that, I don't see any reason to ever go to town.
Well, yeah,
Maybe-
I'm okay
no,
with.
that-
I'm okay with the concept of like, yeah, we want you to have reasons to go back to town, but it's like,
But there
yeah,
are
but
reasons.
the cube, like, there's reasons, and the cube is just so awesome. Like,
It
I mean,
is.
it feels great. It's so much fun to use.
Yeah, I sat my brother down yesterday, and he played through the beta for the first time. And he's the one who got me into Diablo in the first place. Don't ask me why it took him this long to come over and play the beta, but it did. But I was just kind of watching him go through everything, and he was kind of slow picking everything up because he's very much still in the Diablo 2 mentality, and he still plays that very heavily. And he was salvaging items, I was showing him how to do it and everything, and he ended up crafting something from the blacksmith and accidentally salvaging it because he never like deselected the icon. Which sucks. So I'm for that idea where you have to have that tab open to be able to salvage something, and then once you flip out of that tab, the icon goes away. Just a little safety hazard. But what else was I going to say? Oh, I told him about how it used to be how you used to have a cauldron of Jordan and the Nephilim cube and everything. He's like, why'd they take that out? That sounds awesome. I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. You tell me. It was awesome.
Oh,
Frozen
awesome
for a
feature.
long time.
I don't know. I hope they bring it back in. Getting rid of the altar
entirely
was
possible.
a step in the right direction, but getting rid of the cube and the cauldron were not.
Anything named after me should never be removed. Just saying.
I love killing.
I can hear
stuff.
someone's rapid fire coming through their mic.
It's not mine. I don't have rapid fire on. Must be Ken. That's the wizard.
Maybe I should start using
Definitely
something
me.
other than Hungering Arrow.
I have everything. Oh, you're all demon hunters? Oh, this
Yeah.
is awkward.
It's okay. We're all male demon hunters. Or wait, no, we're
Nope.
not. Joe's.
No, you're all women demon hunters.
I can sail up in this bee. I see what you did there.
That yellow hood is just not very fashionable.
Well, rares in general. You know, anyone remember the pink pants I had on my monk that one
Oh,
time?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love. Okay, I really like that they've got random coloring in on rares. For two reasons. One, it's kind of awesome to get funky colored
Lemon
rares,
cap.
and
Sorry.
and two, it's given us an idea of just how much fun you can have with dye. And
this Diablo
I
enough,
think
guys?
we've got a jar. I think we've got a jar of souls.
Die.
A yellow hood doesn't feel very Diablo to me, you know?
There's a jar of
Yeah,
souls.
the problem with all those is that it's too much like WoW when you're leveling up and you have all this mismatched, weird colored stuff. Yeah, and like Penny Arcade said, you look somewhere between a clown and a pimp. Not the biggest fan of that.
The only color
okay.
item should be is brown and black or gray.
That's right. Color of my soul and heart.
I love throwing grenades.
Got none on
Have you
my
guys actually
coppers.
seen the darken and sharpen filter? It's getting pretty popular now.
Nope.
It looks
Yeah.
hideous. I don't like it.
I throw grenades really fast.
Haven't seen it. What
it's
is it?
basically just a little side thing to darken everything.
So yeah, it intercepts. It actually does it on your video card rather than. So it's not a mod. It's a video card filter.
The unicorns are invading my video card. Help me!
I don't know. Some people seem to really like it. I tried it out and I don't like it. I think it looks terrible. I recognize that it took a lot of hard work on the part of whoever made it, but I think they wasted their time.
I don't know. If there's enough people that like it, and since it's not a mod and isn't really affecting gameplay, go
Yeah,
I
wanna try it out.
whatever.
Does it matter
I
what
played
graphics card you have?
Like 4 years without add-ons.
I have no idea the specificity of it. I never tried it myself. Kind of figured, I've seen pictures of it. I kind of know what it's all about. Seen videos, but yeah, I'm not overly concerned with any of that.
Ultimately, I'm just too lazy. Improve the quality of life. I'm just too lazy to do it.
Well, see, when we're playing Minecraft and I, super boost the graphics, that has a point. Everything looks nicer. On here, it's not going to make anything look nicer. It's just going to take out color. I'm not particularly opposed to color.
Oh, my inventory's full. If only I had a way to vendor things on the fly. I do have a red
picking
pill,
up garbage.
You should go home, go to the town, break up the combat pace.
Yep, this will be a good time to break for you. Just, catch up to us when you're done. You've been playing a little too hard. You need to break it down.
I think I'll do that. Salvage?
See, I always thought they wanted to keep you in the action.
Exactly,
out
that's what they
town.
said for so long.
It was very
And
strange.
then they come back and they say, guys, we've been playing out there for so long, we don't even know what town looks like. What are NPCs? We sell things? How do I repair my stuff? And they got really scared that newbies are going to freak out like this.
I wonder
and
if
so-
that's what's happening.
I think it is. I think at some point they said, okay, guys, there is a too far.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't reached it yet, okay? So can I have my frickin' cube back?
It's because you're only playing the beta. You don't know, sir. You don't know.
Well, can I have the cube for at least the first, normal difficulty?
No, that would be even worse. I would only play
Besides-
normal then.
Besides that, I mean, we all played Diablo 2 extensively.
We did?
Well, most of us. Not Ken. He's not really a Diablo
I've
person.
never
He's
played Diablo ever.
more of a something else person. But anyways, now think about it. How long before you actually had to go back to town and empty out all the crap? If you played, the expansion and all that, and you had charms, it was every 5 to 6 seconds.
I hate charm.
Yeah, but I mean, we actually do have a vastly improved inventory state by comparison. So, really, we've kind of weathered a lot worse. I'm sure for those who've never experienced the cube, they just won't know what they're missing.
Yeah, I mean, by and large, I understand what they're getting at. The pace that they're going for. I just love me some cube.
Yes. One change I would be very happy with is if they made it possible for you to sell items to the blacksmith.
Yeah, it's
Because I hate running all the way over to town to sell stuff and then disenchant stuff. I mean, I know it's a small thing, but that stuff adds up, man.
yeah.
It'd be so much more convenient.
I imagine there's actually a very practical reason for that, and that is that we have all these merchants all over town that sell items, and they actually even now in the beta have a chance to sell rare items, which is kind of cool. But you'd never know if you just ran to the blacksmith or ran back. So I can understand where they're coming from. I just kind of wish they were all huddled together in a little hole somewhere so I could visit them.
Or more identifiable, or there at the beginning of the game. I think that's the thing that kind of throws me off a lot, is that a bunch of them don't even show up until after you bring the crown back.
Yeah, that's true too. My brother's playing, he's like, where can I go sell stuff? I was like, oh, there's a fat little merchant up there, going up there. And he wasn't there, and I was like, oh wait, he gets there later, so you gotta run back to the inn. And he's like, oh okay.
Okay, I guess. I know.
And then from that point on, even when the little fat merchant was there, he would still run to the inn.
Yeah. Additionally, has anyone actually bought a rare from any of the merchants?
No.
Nope.
No,
I
they're
never
kind of
check out what
dirty,
they're
and you
selling.
don't know where that stuff is going.
I've
Smoking.
actually seen one rare sword, so I bought it like 500 times, so I'd have like a whole bunch of fallen teeth. So there is that. This guy actually has like 87% magic find too.
It's funny. So I do like that they introduced, or well, not introduced, but invited 100,000 people. I actually have been questing with people more than just the last quest in the game. Like people actually join when you start a new game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was neat.
There's
And
people
just
around.
I have played with so many beginners. It's just really funny. Really funny. Some of the things they do, like telling them that I'm not leaving all these items behind. They're all yours. It's all individualized. The mind just completely explodes.
What? all this trash is mine?
Yeah, all this useless stuff. How do I get rid of it?
There's no way to anymore, I'm afraid. You missed that version. That's what happens when you get rid of Jordan.
When we return from our horrific defeat in Westmarch,
Can't
my
sell
beloved
stuff.
Now, all right, something that we should talk about,
seethed with rage.
even
should.
though it
It
kind of
should.
resolved itself, is the whole chat controversy.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Like, okay, of all the
Humans.
things that have come and gone and have been talked about and whatever, of everything that's happened in the beta, that was the first time where I ever got a piece of news and actually freaked out. I was like, wait, no, you can't be serious. Like, everything else I've taken with a grain of salt. I've sat back, I've gone, okay, where are they coming from with this? What's the intent? But that one I'm like, no, unacceptable. Just flat out unacceptable. And
Yeah.
You're referring to what
so
specifically?
people asked about chat channels. You know, what was the state of chat channels? And Bastiak posted a saying it's like, well, we really want chat channels to, we're not too fond of chat channels that don't revolve around a existing social construct.
Right.
And there was this big like, wait, what does that mean? Does that mean there's no general chat? And he's like, yeah, there's no general chat. And that was when I like flipped out. I'm like, wait, does that just mean that there's no like open general chat, but there's still like, trade chat and party chat and like find a group chat? Because and so it over the course of last weekend, it kind of exploded and everyone was going crazy. And there wound up being like 3 or 4 threads on the forums that filled up. There were 3.
Yeah.
So they were on like, were they on number 3 when he came back, or were they on
They
number?
were on number 3.
They were on number.
Holy crap!
Yeah, so 2 filled up to the brim, and the third was on like 18 pages. When Bash comes back and says, everything I said on Friday was a lie. Chat channel
April
party,
Fools.
and you're actually going to get to see them in beta.
It's like they're already implemented.
They're already implemented.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because realistically, this was a very old topic that I actually railed against originally, and it was because of a twofold thing. On the one hand, it was about chat channels, and more specifically also how that was something that was lacking in the StarCraft 2 beta and then subsequent release. And then the other thing, let's see, what was it at the time? There were several things that were kind of going around about that time. Let me think.
Whoa, that guy just dropped nothing.
It's because I killed him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was dropping grenades on him just to demonstrate a point there.
Yeah, if players kill him, he doesn't drop anything. You have to let Cormac kill him.
Okay.
Either he gets his
Wait,
revenge
what?
or you get no loot. That is the way the world works in Diablo. But yeah, oh yeah, no intermingling between the servers. So, if you had a friend in Australia, you could not play with them, kind of deal.
Oh, with StarCraft 2, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got bit by that
Deluxe.
because I bought my copy of StarCraft 2 while I was down in Australia.
Oh.
And so I logged on that first night, and I'm like, oh, well, I guess, I'm all these hours ahead, and later that night, like, there was still no one. I'm like, where the hell are all my friends? I've got all these people on my real ID. Where are they?
In America.
And that's what. So I log over to WoW. I'm like, hey, can you guys see me playing StarCraft? And I'm like, when did you guys log on? They're like, we've been on for hours. What are you talking about? I'm like, oh crap, this is not good.
Right. And that was a topic that, it didn't actually affect me personally, but I understood the ramifications of it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can see where this would be bad in a lot of scenarios. Why are they doing this?
Now, incidentally, chat channels, I was actually a bit of, when I found out that they didn't have chat channels in StarCraft 2, I was a bit of an apologist about it. My take on it was, whatever. Because I didn't see it to be that big of a deal. Because to me, it's like, well, a game like StarCraft, as long as you have means for, like, communicating directly with your friends and, like, actually getting a hold of people, the game itself is really it's kind of self-contained. You start a new game, and you start a new game. Like, it plays out the same way almost every time. And so I was a bit of an apologist. Ultimately, yeah, it needed chat channels just for the social aspect. But with a game like Diablo, like it's completely inexcusable. It needs chat channels. There's too many different ways to play the game.
Right.
I don't even see it. I thought D2 chat channels were 100% useless, and I never liked them. I didn't even like them in Warcraft 3. I never found any use for them. Like, the trading, I get it, but they're just filled with so many bots that it doesn't even matter. You can't even find anyone to trade with in them. And
How's
the
trading actually going to work?
Well,
when you go into them, it's just filled with trolls and idiots. Hey, can anyone help me with this? No, how about you go get your mom to help you? Like, okay, this is useful.
The other major thing that you got to take into account, though, is that since we're dealing with two different systems entirely, the major difference being you cannot create games by name anymore. So creating trade games is gone.
Right, exactly.
So it further illustrates the point that, yeah, these things are necessary because the ordinary route that you might alternatively go is gone.
Well, how would that even work? If you want to trade with someone, you're going to have to add them to your friends list, right? Otherwise, how are you going to find the game that they're
presumably
in?
In the trade presumably in the chat interface, you'll be able to right click on someone and just invite them to group.
Oh, okay.
Right. So the larger aspect of this is that, oh well, the auction house will solve all these issues. The auction house will solve all these issues. And on the other hand, if for whatever reason you don't want to use the auction house, you want to trade with people more or less face to face, or
well, yeah, that's
you're
not a
playing with
jump
someone.
if you want to trade with someone
instead of item per
Right.
goal.
Yeah.
It creates barriers, and that's kind of the thing that a lot of people have been raising points about.
And the big thing for me, I'm an achievement whore. So for me, it's like, well, how am I going to find other people who are interested in completing specific achievements? There are a lot of different ways of playing the game. There's boss rushing, there's, achievement hunting, there's questing, there's, going out, dueling, or just going, like, being the person who goes and scours every corner. Like, hey, some people want to break every barrel and some people want to rush. And it's like, well, how do you, since you can't make a game with a specific name, how do you find other people who also want to play it slow? Because ultimately the mass player base is going to decide the pace of the average random matchmaker game, and it will lean towards rushing.
Yeah, it certainly has in the beta.
It has in the beta. That's just the way that these kind of things go with random matchmaking. So there really, really, really is a need to have a place for people to find other players who are interested in slowing the pace down.
That's true. I'm a slow player, and I would like to play with people who are also slow players.
I look to my friends list for those things.
I actually go through it pretty slowly myself, even though I'm not gonna dredge on like Joe and pick up every scrap that's worth nothing.
Yeah.
But
I actually just sorted through it for the first time and actually looked at the values of what stuff was worth, and I threw away everything that was worth 1 gold.
So yeah,
So I'm making progress.
right. But I'm right there with you with smashing every urn and every casket, every barrel. Definitely.
Well, I think you guys just found the place where you're going to find other people who want to play like you.
Well, now here's the thing, Ken, is sometimes your friends aren't online, and sometimes, you know what, I'm just interested in meeting new people. And some really good points that other people have brought up is sometimes I just want to give gear away. Maybe I've got some...
I don't know, charity.
Joe did not want any charity to go on. He wanted to break down every item and re-roll it.
Exactly. Please.
Screw you guys, I can break this down.
I don't need your handouts, alright? I got my scraps.
Something you just said in there reminded me of a change that the scroll of reforging is gone.
Oh, right. That's true.
And what do you guys think of that? Like,
wait, what's the scroll of reforging?
What did that do?
That was kind of my initial response.
Rush my memory.
It was the scroll that would basically re-roll an item.
Right.
So it would.
Oh, okay, right.
So the only place I really saw it useful was if it's like, okay, well, I really want to keep this specific type of item, like, petrified tree trunk or whatever. But these stats are kind of crap, like it's a petrified tree trunk with plus int or whatever.
Well, there are certainly a lot of... there are a million different uses you could have for such a thing, because you find a unique item, and it has the barest minimum, the lowest of the low of the stats. Well, I'd kind of like to have a chance for this thing to not suck balls. I'll just use this scroll. Or, you've got a bunch of rare items there, again, the type you want, or... even the type that you may not necessarily want, but they're actually useful. Just re-roll it. Throw the dice. Probably won't turn out, but you got another chance.
See, now here's something that strikes me as odd. A bunch
Let my internet catch
was-
up. My internet just lagged out for a bit. Okay, you're good now. Go for it.
So a bunch of the changes they just made were more or less to intentionally create garbage. They want there to be garbage items that you leave behind. And yet at the same time, they removed identify scrolls, they removed companion scrolls, and they removed the scrolls of reforging, which we never saw, because they were saying, it's like they weren't that interesting, they weren't that valuable, and they ultimately just sort of became cluttered garbage that people left behind. And so the question in my mind is, well, why do you care? Because you're okay with there being garbage items. Like, what's wrong with these scrolls, even if they're not that, what's the word I'm looking for? Even if they're not that engaging, or like, even if they're not that deep, they're not in, rich gameplay, like, so what if they're kind of just quirky crap?
Dan wants his scrolls, damn it. Okay. Can you give the man his scrolls? I don't know. I kind of feel you on that, though. I thought taking the scrolls out was a cool idea, but then when I actually got stuff where, I would use a scroll for, instead I would just right-click. I don't know. I miss the scrolls. It's a sentimental thing for me, though.
I kind of miss the Scrolls of Companion most.
Yeah,
I
those
liked
were
having
awesome.
things that automatically pick up gold,
But I do miss my Scrolls of Identify.
because I am especially greedy, but not in a ridiculous way like Joe.
There's something more rewarding about it than just right-clicking on something. And actually, like, using a scroll.
I win. I've converted. My
Look at
point
a
was
crossbow.
made and vindicated.
19.8. Bardic. All right. Yeah.
See, I've got these rare boots, and now let me just... Oh, right, I just right-click.
That you do.
I still like that aspect, actually.
So the whole change... The funny thing about the change to the stat system is I haven't noticed it because I rarely get things with prime stats on them.
Oh, I love the change to the stat system a lot.
Yeah, that one made sense to me.
I just find, like, yeah, I mean, I just haven't actually experienced it yet. It's completely theoretical for me still because I never get stuff that has prime stats.
Oh, jeez, I have tons of stuff. I'm wearing shoulders that have strength on it because they're the only shoulders I could find. And then I've been switching stuff that has like strength for things that have like crappy int, but crappy int is better than strength.
This
Instead
character
of
basically...
everything is great for me because it all has attack on it.
Right. I hated that homogeneous system. It's like, hey, look, a battle axe. This will be good for everything that can use a battle axe.
Yeah, and actually, I have noticed in the crafting. Like, if you go to the weapons, I'm like, oh, there's the Morning Star, the Apprentice Morning Star that was like amazing for everyone, and now it's like plus 17 strength. I'm like, oh, okay,
Not so much anymore.
yeah.
But
The heavy
PK.
axe, however, is still great for everyone.
Ooh. I
Attack
got
speed and 2 random.
Listen to this. Crossbow has 31 to strength and 12 intelligence. That will be great for my demon hunter.
You want to know what? I just discovered something right now. Something I don't like about the way that it's set up right now.
What?
By having the details on the right-hand side, like pick 2 items that you want to swap back and forth and open the details. As you switch between them, you can't see half of the details because they're blocked by the item information.
Yeah.
So I can't actually see everything it's doing, so having this whole thing over here is actually pointless.
Completely pointless.
Yeah.
Oh well, as long as you're not comparing things that affect either your resources or adventure stats, you should be good. So just don't focus on gold find or
No, but if you look at any of your items that you're actually equipped and you're like, what does that give me? Int, how much int do I have right now?
Oh right. Oh yeah,
Block
over
the-
there. Like if the tooltip actually blocks the core attributes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just give us our character window back, please.
Yeah, like I understand. It's just why would you get rid of it? Like if you want to add something helpful for people who are
It
I don't know.
was good in theory. I get the idea,
Deficit.
but
why
Yeah.
get rid of it?
in practice, the character window's much better.
I don't even know, like, here's my take on it. That's one of those things that I don't know if it even helps new players all that much, because by and large I've discovered that there are 2 kinds of new players. There are those who figure things out anyway, and there are those who never figure it out at all. And I don't think having that on the character page is going to help the second group at all. Like, they're just still not gonna, they aren't gonna notice. They'll have played for 40 hours, they'll be like, oh, well, let's go look at your character attributes. And they'll be like, my what? They'll be like, well, open your inventory, and you'll point to the numbers, and they'll be like, oh, those numbers, I've wondered what those were.
Ugh.
And it'll be like, oh. So I don't. I mean, they've already got the intro tooltips that pop up all over the screen, like
Everywhere.
I just have one. It's like pops up. It's like, oh, something just changed. Open your character panel.
You have an empty equipment slot that you can't even equip anything in yet. Please do
don't have
something
an
about it.
amulet yet. You don't have an amulet yet.
Do not feel despair, my lord. You did everything you could.
Please fix that now, and I will stop bugging you.
Yeah, I sure will as soon as you let me out of the beta.
Your strength is needed
All right.
to end the fall
Cube back
of the
in.
second
Cauldron of Jordan back in.
My
Character
one
window back
wish
in.
is that you find your
Cauldron, I'd like it
Yeah.
back. I'm okay with it being gone
Yeah, that's not a
because
necessity.
I understand what they're doing.
I want the cube.
Right.
though.
Cube needs to be back. Town portal, keep it as town portal.
Yeah, that one's fine.
Character sheet back. Scroll of identify back.
Nah,
That one's with
You're-
Cauldron of Jordan.
you're on your own, Dan.
Give or take.
No, I'm not. You guys saw on the blog. You like, made fun of me, and then like 3/4 of the comments on the blog and on YouTube were
Yeah.
all. I agree with the scroll guy.
Dan, that's because only the people who would agree with you would actually post on that. Be like, I mean, it seems obvious. I'm not gonna post on that.
Hey, people do want it. I'd be stoked if it was back. I like my scrolls, my identify scrolls.
Hey,
For
don't
nostalgia,
hate crap that
nostalgia
takes up
stake.
precious inventory slots.
What if they gave you an identify stone?
Oh,
I'd
okay,
be
I'd be okay
with
with that.
too.
Stone of Cain. That's what they call
Stone
it.
of Cain.
So yeah, no, I'm actually okay with that. I don't give a crap if it takes an extra click to things. I just hate things that help my inventories. I'm contemplating not carrying potions around.
Yeah, I know. I don't even use these little friggin' things.
I think the Stone of Cain should have a little blood on it. Super
What,
joke
Cain's
for those
kidney
who get it.
stone?
No,
Oh,
just have a little inscription on it that says, "It appears to have killed a man."
Oh, Cain and Abel.
There you go.
All right, guys.
I was gonna think like Cain's glass eye.
Yo. Cain's frontal lobe.
Utmost.
Oh. The shadows look really nice with the latest shaders.
Oh,
Nice and soft. Very
I love-
pretty.
I love going into the settings and setting everything on high. It makes me feel special.
What? What did you say? It's pretty? That's not Diablo.
You're
You're
why they
supposed to
got rid
say-
of companion scrolls, okay?
It's not pretty, it's gritty.
Calling those bunnies cute and stuff. What's wrong with you? They're badass, man.
Everything's gotta be like dark. It's not dark enough. It's gotta be sharper to, you know.
That's
You
one of the
can't-
things I really appreciated watching my brother play yesterday was just looking at how freaking good this game looks. Just like seeing it from a distance and watching somebody else play and be able to take in everything visually and just be like, wow, dude, this game looks freaking amazing.
One of the most underrated details, like really, really great details, is if you go to the Cemetery of the Forsaken and just get to a position where you can actually see the gazebo in the middle. So, like, you want to work around so that it's in kind of the foreground, but before you go in front of it and it turns transparent.
It's not dark enough. I need dead virgin bodies all over it, impaled. I need pools of blood, and I need a pentagram.
Heads on spikes.
But I just think this thing, like the artwork on this
Succubus.
thing, is just absolutely gorgeous for something that, you know,
going
that
to get
disappears the
completely
moment you
bored.
see it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, this game just looks so good. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Till next time. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye,
Farewell,
gentlemen.
Loyal 8.
We'll see you all next time on the World Stone Keep.